Someone once said, "There is no breakthrough without follow-through." It's my understanding that they said that in reference to blocking through the limits in our lives, obstacles, and solving problems. It's no secret to most people that human beings, when they come up against limits, have a tendency to just stop and maybe go back, or come up against their limits and keep banging their heads. There's reasons for people doing that. We're not going to have any breakthrough through our obstacles unless we follow through. And in this video, I want to give some understanding of what that follow-through concept means. Follow-through doesn't just mean doing what you said you're going to do, which that's definitely part of it. But there's a different concept, a mental, spiritual, energetic concept that's really helpful to understand. What do karate, tennis, and golf have in common? Well, if you've ever played those three sports, you know that the concept is follow-through. When I was 19 years old, I was in a tennis class in college. The tennis instructor showed us how to hold the racket properly, and, for example, in serving, how to bring it back by our back and then come out to hit the ball. It was kind of counterintuitive. It wasn't the way that I usually hit the ball. But he watched me swinging, and I had a tendency that when I would come back to hit the ball, I would stop when I hit the ball. And sometimes the ball went into the court on the other side, and sometimes it went flying out of the entire tennis court. So he said, go ahead and follow through. And he had me practice several times just following through. And he says, no matter what the ball does, when you swing, just follow through. So one time I threw the ball up, and I followed through, and I made contact. Took me several tries, but once I hit that ball, it went in a very straight line into the middle of the court on the other side of the tennis court. And I realized that I'd used a fraction of the energy that I'd been using before, with significantly more power into the other side. And I practiced that for all the years that I played tennis, and I was actually pretty good. A few years ago, a friend of mine took me out on the golf course. He'd been raised on a golf course, and I was asking him to help me with my swing. So he watched me a few times, and he says, well, when you're swinging, you're tending to move your hips a little bit. He said, keep your hips still, and when you swing, follow through. Well, where had I heard that before? So I put my club down, I kept my hips still, brought my club all the way back, came through, kept my hips still, and that ball went farther than it had ever gone in all the time I'd been playing golf. With a fraction of the amount of energy, there was a significant increase in the result. I've been in karate a few times in my life too, and there's been times where I've needed to break boards. What does the karate instructor tell you to do? Follow through. They teach you to create a pathway in your mind from your body through the board, through the wall, off into outer space. It takes a little practice because you tend to hold back. Where do you hold back? At the obstacle, the board. And with practice, one day you just kind of automatically go right on through the board, and with a fractional amount of the energy that you've used before, the board explodes. It's astonishing, when you're truly focused on following through, how much less energy it takes to create a much more significant result. So when you're faced with an obstacle or a problem, use the power of follow-through. The first step is to get clarity about your target or your goal, whatever that is. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Be more clear about your goal than you are about your obstacle. Imagine a line from you through the obstacle, through the goal, off into outer space, and allow your energy to go follow along that line. Keep flowing, keep practicing, keep flowing until you break through. Imagine only empty space where the obstacle once was. In a sense, it's not about the obstacle. The obstacle was never there in the first place, except in your mind. It takes practice. Don't let yourself off the hook. Keep practicing. Get a coach. Have somebody help you to notice what you're doing in your blind spots, like my friend did when he noticed my style with golf as the tennis instructor noticed with my tennis swing, and as my karate instructor noticed with my punch. Get a coach, follow the right form, and follow through any obstacle. Just watch what happens. Thanks for watching this video. I'd like to know what you think. Please email me at johnmason@dayjobtodreamjob.com. Let me know your comments and your questions. I'd love to interact with you and find out what your thoughts are and what's worked for you. Thanks for watching.